Like I said, I'm not in the mood for a countdown, just like yesterday. Let's see if we can hit the goal today for another stream tomorrow. Let's see if we can do it. Mike is first in the stream. Top fan badge. Mike, how are you doing on this Wednesday afternoon? Training camp is still, well, it's not going on. It's actually over for today, but we're still in training camp season. Hit the like as you come in. Hit the share as you come in and make a comment on how are you doing on this Wednesday afternoon. All I see is Mike right now. So me and Mike are going to have a conversation. How are you doing this Wednesday afternoon, Mike? As the Cleveland Browns QB competition rolls on. It's been a week. That's not good, man. But hopefully during this stream, we can make your week a little better. Cottonwood Slim, what up? How are you doing, my guy? So let's talk about this week. Let's talk about training camp. And you know, it's just baby steps. It's puzzle pieces until August 8th gets here. And what is August 8th? It is Carolina Panthers versus the Cleveland Browns. That's what I'm waiting for. That is what I need to get here super fast and in a hurry. Because that's the only thing that matters at this point. We can evaluate shorts and helmets, pads, shorts and helmets. But until we get to the 8th, we'll see who's good and who's not. Dad got Lyme disease, gave him Bell palsy. We're out of the hospital now, eating dinner, all good. Oh, prayers to Pops, Mike. Prayers to Pops. Hopefully everything goes well. Prayers for you and your family, man. Hopefully everything goes well. Prayers for Mike. Brandy's in the building. How you doing, Brandy? I haven't seen you or your tag team partner. Are you guys over practicing for the championships? How are you doing, Brandy? So, as the quarterback carousel goes along, Shedeur Sanders got some work with the first string. But here's the caveat. It was the first string defense. It wasn't the first string offense. He still had the backups on his side. And he went against the first string defensive line. Rumor has it he was running for his life because the second string offensive line isn't any good. So if we don't have help on our offensive line, we're still in trouble. Now, you could say, well, the Browns defensive line with Myles Garrett is not fair. And I'll give you that point. But he was running for his life. He went 2 for 3 in that session when he was going against the defensive line, the defensive first string, when he had the second stringers. So he didn't get to play with the first string offense, but he did go against the first string defense, which that is a significant step for positivity. If you're in, you want to see the Shedeur Sanders go against the first string, play with the first string at least. He hasn't been on the field though with a Jerry Jeudy, a David Njoku, a Jerome Ford, a Dion Sanders. He hasn't been on the field with them yet. So we have to wait to see if that actually happens. So that's a step in a positive direction as his QB carousel goes on for another day. How you doing, Cheryl? How are you doing? And Brandy, how is your week? Is your week good? Is your week bad? Is your week up in the air? Let me know how you're doing on this Wednesday afternoon. The Browns are using him slow. I believe it's going to happen soon. What up, JB Praise? You know, JB Praise, I have mixed feelings about that. Bring him along slowly. Now, they know more football. They forget more football than I'll ever know in life. But I believe he should at least get as many first team reps as Dillon Gabriel. Now, I know Dillon Gabriel played more college football, more college football experience than Shedeur Sanders. I get it. I understand it. But guess what? I don't care. Okay? I don't care. I think he should get as many reps as Dillon Gabriel with the first team. I believe that in my core because I think he's that good. But that's just me. We can bring him along slow. You can do baby steps, but still get him in with the first team offense. Let him throw to Jerry Jeudy for once and David Njoku. Okay? But that's just my opinion. Does my opinion matter? To most people, it doesn't. Okay? But that's me. Let him get more reps with the first string. Because the reps he's getting with the second string, he looks pretty darn good. Okay? Now, it's just helmets and shorts. Like I said, am I impressed with helmets and shorts? No. But if you look terrible in helmets and shorts, Get off my team because you're not going to be good in pads, okay? When it really counts. So it's good that you look good in helmets and shorts. But if he looks good with the third and the second string, let's take the training wheels off, put him against the first string defense with the first string offense, and let's see what he has. Because Jimmy Haslam said today that he knows the Mannings very well. They break bread. They break bread together. Butter, bread, and toast. Okay? He didn't say that part. I made that up. That's a little ad lib, okay? And he says that Arch Manning is going to stay in college for 2 years at least. So, for everyone that wants Arch Manning, that's their dream. That's their end goal. You're going to have to wait a little while. So you might as well see what you got in Shedeur Sanders. And if you like Dylan Gabriel, you might as well see what you got in him. Because Arch Manning is not walking through that door next year. It's not happening, according to Jimmy Haslam. He would know more than I would when it comes to that. And rumors already had that Arch Manning was going to stay in college at least another year. So let's see what these rookies have. We're watching because I'm not saying you guys don't care about my opinions. Cottonwood, let me say, the Browns don't care about my opinion. I should have said it that way. I know you guys care, and I appreciate you for that, Cottonwood Slim, that you care what I think, and I care what you think. The Browns don't care what I think, Cottonwood. That's what I should have said. They could care less what I think about what they're doing. I know you guys care. That's why you're watching me yell at a mic. If you're just coming in, hit that like for me. Can we reach our goal to get to a stream tomorrow? We will see. PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. I'm looking at WWE now. I have to promote myself. Cookie Monster, how are you doing? How are you, Cookie Monster? JB Praise says absolutely. He should get a shot. What up, Myron? How are you doing? Wait till preseason. If he balls out, that's a wrap. You know what, JB Praise? Just had to watch a 2-minute ad. Let's shorten that a bit. I can't control the ads. You know what the YouTube ads are telling you, Mike? I'm broke. The longer the ad shows you, they give you a 30-second ad, he's rolling in the dough. But I can't do anything with the ads, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I can't. I'll tell you this. I don't know if it's the Browns' worst nightmare. I'm not going to say that. But it's kind of like, to me, it's the Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson dynamic not the year before, but when they got rid of Joe Flacco, right? They got rid of Joe Flacco last year. Keep a buck, because Deshaun Watson was absolutely horrendous, which he was. The crowd would have been chanting for Joe Flacco. It just was going to happen. It was bound to happen. Now, I'm not saying fans don't like Joe Flacco. They do, okay? Everybody loves Joe Flacco, but Shedeur Sanders is not Deshaun Watson. 90% of the Browns fan base hated Deshaun Watson, no matter what he did, and for good reason. Shedeur Sanders is a different breed. Shedeur Sanders has a fan base that's out of this world, and then you have Browns fans that are going to want to see him on the field. If he produces in the preseason against no matter who it is, hello, fans are going to want to see him on the field sooner than later, no matter who the quarterback is, unless the Browns are like 6-0 and they're winning football games. Spoiler alert, that's probably not going to happen. Brandy, new QBs, new RBs. This is a rebuild year. I want to, but don't expect much this year. Breaking in a rookie QB is necessary, but ugly. Thank you for the $5 donation. She got the donation train rolling. Choo-choo. Tracky, let's go.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And I probably was echoing the whole time because my sound was up. Sorry about that. Thank you for the donation train. Let's get it. We're not going, and I agree with Brandy there. We're not going to be good. It's not happening. Now, I want to be good, but that schedule is absolutely brutal. Whoever made the schedule for the Browns, we're hating. We sucked last year. We got to play the NFC North and our own division. Are you kidding me? What do we do to deserve that? We play the 49ers? Excuse me. But anyways, I digress. Unless the Browns, like Brandy said, unless the Browns win football games, the crowd is going to want to see a rookie quarterback. If Shedeur Sanders shows out in the preseason, if he shows that he can play, and I believe he can play. People who don't think he can play, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's a Deshaun Watson thing. They just don't like him for whatever reason. Maybe it's his dad. I don't know. But if he shows he can play some football, which I think he can, they will want to see him play. You're going to have a problem on your hands. A good problem, that is. At least we can keep Njoku on the rebound. What up, the Pebble? Will we keep Judkins? I hope so. I think we will keep Judkins, Robert. I thought I read something about Haslam saying that he thinks he's going to sign, talking about Judkins. I think there's just waiting to see what's going to happen on the legal side of things. I don't think they're in a rush because nobody else is going to sign Judkins. So there's no rush in signing him, but I think he will, in my humble opinion. So many injury suspensions, and with the QB room with the 40-year-old and 2 rookies. It sucks we lost Martin Emerson Jr. That's a big loss. That's a huge loss. Now our de facto number 2 corner is Greg Newsome Jr. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a Greg Newsome hater, but I don't think you want him as your number 2. You're going to the Browns-Lions game? Okay. Oh, no, we suck again. Did you see Manziel blame the Browns? I did see that, Robert. I was going to make a video on it, but then I got busy, and then I said, you know what? It's old news now. I'm not going to make a video on it. But I did see that. Johnny Manziel, what a waste of space when it comes to football talent. Jeff, what up? What happened to the profile picture, man? Why is it a black circle? Our Super Bowl window ended last year when they realized Watson can't play anymore. So now we're rebuilding. I think that we're waiting to see what happens with Judkins before we sign him. Robert with the $5 donation. Thank you, my good sir. Thank you. We are slowly getting to our goal for the tomorrow stream. Will we make it? We will see. Thank you, Robert.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Yes, if Greg Newsome goes back to the outside, I think you'll have a good year. That's where he plays best. Pass rusher better do stuff more often than not this year. What pass rusher are you referring to? Are you just talking about as a team? When Genu played outside before, he looked good. So you're thinking outside is going to cure his woes from getting burnt like toast. I just keep seeing the Texan game replayed in my mind, and I'm just scratching my head. Hit the like if you haven't already. So that's just my opinion, though, when it comes to the quarterback situation. It's all going to be answered when it comes to preseason. We can for whatever we want. We can argue about training camp, this, that, there, and another. But when the game is played, it doesn't matter. The tape is going to be right there in front of your face. And I said it yesterday, if you weren't on the stream, this is going to be the most exciting preseason in a while because we want to see these quarterbacks play. And when I say these quarterbacks, Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, we don't care about Joe Flacco. We know what he can do. And I can care less about Kenny Pickett because I'm a hater. But I can admit that I'm hating. I never wanted Kenny Pickett on the team. I don't want to see Kenny Pickett. I don't want to see Two Gloves Pickett. I just don't. I'm too broke to add to the train, but saying a loyal member. Appreciate you, the Pebble. 10 months. 10.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Appreciate you being a loyal 10-month member. Thank you, my good sir. Do you think we could trade Pickett for a cornerback or maybe just pick up someone who has been waived? I think we have a better chance of getting someone waived than trading Pickett for a cornerback. Him being injured did not help the trade, in my opinion, but I love your thought. I want to trade him sooner than later. And I have no reason to. I am hating, okay? See how I can admit that? See how refreshing that is? I'm hating, okay? He did nothing to me. Not one thing. But I'm hating. I want to get rid of him faster, sooner than later. He means not named Miles. Anyone not named Miles. Got to get rid of Pickett. I don't hate Kenny Pickett. He has 14-10 in record. in the division, so he wins games. But defense won games for Kenny Pickett. He was atrocious stat-wise. The defense won games. And listen, like I said, I would rather have 3 quarterbacks play before Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. That he is the 4th. I just don't listen. Shedeur Sanders can be your future. Dylan Gabriel, I don't see it, but maybe he can be your future. Kenny Pickett, I don't see it. I just don't. Pittsburgh didn't. They got rid of him. Philadelphia, they were like, hey, you're a backup. It is what it is. Cookie Monster, hey, thank you for coming in. Greatly appreciate you, Cookie Monster. Hopefully you're doing okay. I don't know if you said you were or not. Maybe I missed your comment, but hopefully you're doing okay. You're having a good summer. I'm glad you stopped by and said hi, and then you said bye. Hopefully you have a great rest of your evening, Cookie Monster. You'd rather see Kenny Pickett than DTR. You know what, Jeff? I can't argue with that one. I can't argue with that one. DTR was bad. And I can admit when I'm wrong. DTR was bad. Could we trade Pickett for a cup of coffee? Sure. Dallas in here. What up, Dorica Smith? How are you doing? Is that how you say it? Dorica? How are you doing? Dallas in the building? Winless record means nothing for Pickett. Steelers wins 10 with Stefanski at QB. I think in 2 years we will see Sanders and Gabriel 1 and 2. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think both of them will be on this team. I don't think both of them will be on this team in 2 years. I think one will be gone. Which one? I don't know. But I think one of them will be gone within 2 years. Deshaun Watson or DTR or Kenny Pickett, out of those 3, I'd rather see Kenny Pickett. I'd rather see neither. Win-loss, I'd rather see neither. I want all of them gone. And I was a Watson guy at one point. Get rid of all 3. Well, one's already gone. But yes, I want to see the running back position. I want to see the receiver position when it comes to this preseason. I want to see what Mason Graham looks like. It's been pretty quiet on his front, unless I'm missing something in training camp. Have they said anything about Mason Graham? How's he looking? What's he doing? I could have missed it. I'm not saying I've been dialed in. I've really been focusing on the quarterback competition. Have they said anything about Mason Graham? Stefanski going to be able to keep his job over this rough patch? 37 months. My goodness, Brandy. We've been rocking for 37 months. Greatly appreciated.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
You know what? I think Stefanski is going to keep his job even if the team wins 3 games again this year. I think Andrew Berry will be gone before Kevin Stefanski. I think. But that's just me, Brandy. I think if you had to pick one that's going to leave, it would be Andrew Berry. If one was to get fired, it would be AB before Kevin Stefanski. I think Kevin Stefanski will still be here to a lot of people's hatred of him. I think he'll still be on this team. If, say, they go 4-13, I still think he keeps his job. I do. I think he's going to get a pass with having 2 rookie quarterbacks and a bridge quarterback in Kenny Pickett and an old quarterback in Joe Flacco. Gabriel, he's looked good with the processing accuracy needs work. That's what I don't want. I don't want that. You should be accurate already. I would rather you need processing need little work, like processing offense, then your accuracy needs work. I want your accuracy already down, especially at 5'3". If you're 5'3", I need you to be super accurate. I need Drew Brees level of accuracy at that height of a quarterback. I don't need none of that. That's just me, though. What up, Rodney? How you doing? I saw Graham make a great spin move against first-team O-line. Okay. How you doing, Rodney? You know Browns fans, they want Stefanski's head. Week 6, Brandy, week 2. They're going to call for Stefanski's head by week 2 if we're 0-2. 0-2. He's out of here. Get him out of here. I don't think we will be able to get Arch unless he does another Watson deal. Flacco, I think, will be gone after this year. I can see Pickett being here in 2 years. I hope not. Please, dear Lord. Sanders the other way, good accuracy. I would rather have it that way because you can work on processing. You can work on that. You're a rookie. It's hard to work on accuracy. If you're not accurate, good luck. It's hard to work on that. If you already have that, we're good to go. It is hard to work on accuracy. It really is, especially at 5'3". You're short. You can't see over the line. You got to roll out. And now I got to work on your accuracy. That's not what I want to hear. You're all good, Rodney? Kenny Pickett, how long is he out? Does anybody know? And the reason why I ask is this. August 8th is next Friday. If August 8th, and he's out, Dillon Gabriel is going to get the start. That's going to let us know a lot about Dillon Gabriel because he is going to get some of the other teams' ones on defense if Kenny Pickett is out. I don't think they're going to play Joe Flacco. I really don't. I don't think he needs to play. And if Kenny Pickett's out, Dillon Gabriel is going to go against the ones on defense against Carolina, at least for the first series. That's going to help him a lot. And it's going to evaluate him as well if Kenny Pickett is out. But I don't know. So that's something to look at too when we're talking about Dillon Gabriel. He could go against the ones, against Carolina. And that's going to really help evaluate him to see where he's at. Has all of this in training camp now helped him? Something to look out for. All late, but Brandon, congrats on 37 months. One thing we got to give Andrew Berry credit for is his undrafted free agents. You know, Jeff, I hate Andrew Berry. He got rid of Nick Chubb. I won't give him credit for anything, Jeff. Now, I am a very emotional person. You know this by now. Nick Chubb is my favorite player in Browns history, and he got rid of him for a bucket of nickels. I hate him. I'm not giving him credit for nothing for the rest of his time here. Stefanski has somewhat Forrest Gumped his way through 5 years. I will never forgive him for -20 triple reverse in DTR's first game because Baltimore man went to Harvard but can't read the clock. Joe Flacco, he's going to start at least first 5 or 6 games. I want to see Dillon Gabriel ball out, not going to lie. I know he's short. I don't care if he plays here or elsewhere, but God, I just want to see him get good for his career. Gabriel throws stupid interceptions. What a spiritual war and exposed. How are you doing? I do believe the processing speed of rookie QB makes them hold onto the ball longer than needed. I am sure injuries will sort out the QB room this year. That's a good point. When have we had a healthy QB room? That's a good point. Chubb should have never been let go. He shouldn't have, Rodney. And I hate him forever, AB. Shout out to everybody just coming in. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Can we make the donation goal for another stream tomorrow? I don't know. Let's see if we can. AB will never win these fans over again if we win a trophy under his tenure. Getting rid of Chubb ranks in top 3 bonehead moves. It does. I hope Kenny Pickett doesn't play against the 8th. I don't want him to be injured, but I want Shedeur or Dillon to play against the ones on Friday, the 8th. That's what I want to see. What up, Selmo? How are you doing? How are you doing? I want Shedeur or Dillon. Most likely it's looking like it's going to be Dillon because that's the way training camp has played out. I would rather see them in the preseason play against the starters. I don't need Flacco. We know what he can do. Kenny Pickett, it is what it is at this point. He is who he is. Okay? Who do we need to evaluate the most? The rookie quarterbacks. Who will benefit the most? The rookie quarterbacks. Now, I understand. They keep saying Kenny Pickett has the leg up on the number 1 spot. Mary Kay Cabot has said it 3,000 times. I still don't believe it until he rolls out there in September and he's a starting quarterback against the Bengals. 19 to 21 was Baker Mayfield was the last. That's crazy. That's the last time we had a healthy quarterback room. Manziel, Watson deal and getting rid of Chubb in no particular order. I would say Watson, then Manziel, then Chubb. If we're being non-biased. Non-biased. But that's what I want to see. You have to evaluate your rookies. That should be your number 1 priority in the preseason. Evaluate your rookies. I think Shedeur and Dillon should get the most playing time at quarterback. I think that's obvious at this point. You need to see what they can do. Who's better between the two? And that rhymed. That's a bar, actually. Why so many QBs, Corey? Who's getting cut? place any of those guys on the practice squad. Another team grabs them. That's a good question. I don't like the 4 QBs. I've said it before if you haven't been here. I want to get rid of Kenny Pickett. I don't even want him on this team. Joe Flacco is 40. If you had it my way, I already said it. Dylan or Shedeur, I would start from the gate because we're not going anywhere anyways. But it's just me. Nobody cares. The Browns don't care what I think. We'll see Nick Chubb does, but I haven't heard him lighting up on Texas. I think we're keeping all the quarterbacks. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the Texans. I don't follow the Texans. I do know Joe Mixon got hurt, so Nick Chubb is going to start. I'll tell you this. We can use Nick Chubb right now because Quinshon Judkins isn't signed. Don't get me started, Jeff, on Nick Chubb. You will lose this battle. You will lose this battle, Jeff, downing Nick Chubb on this channel. You will lose every time. Don't start with Nick Chubb. And that's a public service announcement. But I don't, you don't win when you're rotating 4 quarterbacks. I hate it. Dylan's getting the press and the reps, but Shedeur is still outplaying him with the reps he's getting. You know what, Django? What I don't understand with the whole Dylan and Shedeur thing, I get bringing Shedeur up slowly, but I don't understand not getting him first reps. Teams with the first reps. Reps with the first string. Now, he got some today against the first string defense, but he hasn't got any with the offense. I get it. Let's bring him up slow. We don't want to rush anything, but they're slow. And then there's, come on. What are we doing? What are we actually doing here? Are you afraid for him to fail? You would rather him fail in training camp than go out in the game and just completely look shocked. That's what I don't understand. Get him some reps with the number 1 offense against the number 1 defense and see what he does. He's looked great against the second and third team, so let's see what he can do. That's the only thing I don't get. This training wheel thing they've got with Shedeur, I don't know, Django. But maybe it's not meant for me to know. Releasing Kareem Hunt wasn't top, but it shows AB just has no idea what he's doing. Maybe he listens to analytics too much because most of his picks suck and he has let go of amazing players. I would love to have Damian Pierce. Who? From the Texans? Well, used to be on the Texans. Maybe have a 2 QB system, the Saints with Carr and Taysom Hill. But we don't have a Taysom Hill. The closest thing would be Kenny Pickett, I guess. Maybe. Losing Chubb hurt more than losing Bernie. I can't relate to the Bernie thing. I was too young. The thing is, people is not realizing he's not getting first team reps, but he's playing against the starting defense. He only played against the starting defense today, Jeff. It was the first day he played against the starting defense. Other than that, he's been going against second team defense and third team defense as well. So, once again, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense of why you're treating him like an infant. Take the training wheels off. They don't want his daddy to be right. It has nothing to do with Shedeur. What do you think, chat? Is Django on to something, chat? Hit the like if you just came in. Is Django? Oh, I never thought about that. Do they not want Dion Sanders to be right about Shedeur? Corey, I must be on the wrong stream. I'm here for Pilar. What? What are you talking about? Is Django right? Dude, I never thought about that. I might take Hopkins as he might be kicking a bit. Fancy football, huh? I don't understand the Dion hate. I don't understand the Dion hate either. Somebody tell me, why do people hate Tupac Shador's father? What is it? It's because he's confident? I don't care. Why do they hate Dion Sanders so much? I don't understand that either. Why do they hate Dion Sanders so much? Because he's confident? Because he speaks what he believes? He believes in his kids? I never got that either. No, Graham, Garrett, Newsom, and a few others have been in clips with Sanders throwing the ball. First time I seen it was today. The first time it's been publicly said him going against the number one defense was today. And they made a big fuss about it like it was Hall of Fame news that he went against the first string defense today. If I am wrong, I will be wrong. But it's the first time they have like made it some Hall of Fame announcement that he went against the first string defense today with the second string offense. And he still hasn't played with the first string offense. That is blasphemy. If he isn't doing what OBJ's dad did, I don't care. Plus, Coach Prime's pretty dope. Maybe just too big of a personality. Every year we ignore the O-line in the draft, and that's why we go through so many QBs, no protection, so they either get hurt or like they suck. That is true. We don't have any depth in the O-line. They did say today when Shedeur with the second string O-line, when he went against the first string defensive line, he was running for his life. Now, you can look at that two ways. One, our backup O-line stinks, or two, they were going against our first string defensive line. And that's not fair because the first string defensive line has Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett going against a backup lineman is just not a fair thing to do to that backup lineman. You take it how you want to take it. Nobody cares what Dion thinks. If he was a GOAT QB, when people would care. If Arch Manning was a CB, nobody would care about him either. I think they do care what he thinks, though, because people get mad when he talks about his son. It's his son. So I don't know why people get mad. It's his son. He should have an opinion about his son. So people do care because they get in their feelings for no reason. My son's good. Nobody cares about your son. Well, they do. Do you think Dion was better on offense or defense? Defense. Because he played more on defense. Browns always beat the Bengals at least once. Can I look forward to that this year? If they do, I think the first game of the year. I think that's when you beat them, the first game of the year, because they only get better. You got to get them week one. Get them at their lowest point. You got to get them week one. That's just my opinion, though. Get them week one because they only get better from there. Because he came out and said he wouldn't let Shedeur go to a team he didn't agree with, and the team, the NFL, believed he was going to be a problem for the front office of the teams he ended up. What is the whole LeVar Ball situation? People see Dion like him because they believe in their kid. I've never understood. They believe in their kid. Think about that. Think about if I had a son and I believed in my son. Now, maybe I talk confident or maybe I'm a little boisterous, but believing in your kid is a bad thing now. What is the world? What is going on with this world today? My son is great, man. I can't stand Corey. He believes in his son. Wow. He is terrible for believing in your kid. What is the world? What is going on with this world? You can't believe in your kids now. Like what's going on? LeBron loves Bronny. Doesn't mean he's good though. Hey, I wish I was Bronny. I tell you that. If I was Bronny, I'd be made for the rest of my life. I will take it. People can call me trash, terrible, the worst basketball player ever. I'm set for life. Not going to blame you if you throw a little vodka in the Sunkiss this year. SummerSlam a few days away. It is. It is. Let's go John Cena. The world has become desensitized to Godfathers. Maybe we can bring Dion in as a QB safety coach. Maybe keep his son happy. He's going to stay in Colorado. Why would he take a downgrade? Why would he take a downgrade? Why would he do that? I wouldn't. I'm going to be a head coach. Sanders packing the delusion he has elite skill or greater than his actual abilities. That sounds like a hater. But I can read a hater comment when I see it. Man hasn't played one preseason game and he doesn't have abilities. That is wow. That's like, he's no good. He hasn't even played a game yet. That's what I'm talking about. Like, how can you hate on someone who hasn't even played a down? A down. Corey, we all need Bronny and LeBron back in the land. The land? And that's partly why I want Shedeur to do good. It's for hating comments like that. Imagine someone saying, you know what? Send Gabriel out of town. His abilities are trash. He's no good. How can we say that? He hasn't played a game. How can you say that? You could say he's short. That's a fact. We don't know if he's not good or not. He hasn't played a game. Can these young men play a game yet before we say they're no good? Oh, my goodness. Now, I can hate on Kenny Pickett. I have seen his sample size. He has a sample size of quarterbacking, and I can hate on him. The sample is there. No good. Plot twist, Baker was the best QB we had in the last 5 years. That's a fact. That's an actual fact. And I admit it, Baker has been the best quarterback we've had in 5 years. Fact. With a capital F. Fact. Have you seen the new? I have not seen it yet. I do know MJF is in it because Colorado bout to as bad as us, huh? Only time I accept it is with Pickett because, well, he's Pickett, trade of soul. I am about to watch it though, but I haven't seen it yet. I am about to watch it, and I know Eminem is in it too. You so dislike Baker? You did, Brandy, and I defended Baker. I defend anybody who is here. I don't think people understand now. I defend every quarterback who was here until they're not here anymore. I was wrong there. I said it once. I defend everybody. So I defend Shedeur. I'm going to defend. If Dylan ends up being good, I will defend him. The only person I am not going to defend is Kenny Pickett because I don't want him here. Okay? I don't want Kenny here because he is stunting the growth of two rookies, Dylan and Shedeur. I would rather see them two play over Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Okay? Send me packing. I love Baker. I miss him and wish him the best. So tired of bringing Baker back this course. Am I the only one that thinks we should have kept Jameis Winston over Joe Flacco? I wasn't going to say it. Okay, Jeff? I wasn't going to say it because I don't want to get beat up. Okay? I don't want to get beat up. I didn't know Goldberg's son played with the Buffs. Does he? I want Shedeur to be great. He didn't drop the fifth for no reason, and Baker's the best we had since Modell days. He did drop for the fifth for a reason. I mean, you can take what you want out of it. It had nothing to do with his football ability. Nothing. It had to do with whatever was going on behind the scenes in the draft. It had nothing to do with what he was doing on the field. Since the Modell days, so since Bernie Kosar, Vinny Testaverde, I'm trying to think of every quarterback we've had. You might be right. You might be right. I'm trying to think. You might be right. I was a big Kelly Holcomb fan, though. But yet, listen, Jameis Winston and Joe Flacco are the same person. They're exactly the same. There's no difference. One's just older than the other. One's white and one's black. They are the exact same quarterback. They're going to throw you touchdowns and they're going to throw you interceptions. They're the same quarterback. One's old. They're the same. Wide receiver room, how we looking? Very thin. Jerry Jeudy, flip a coin. Tim Couch was terrible. Jerry Judy's our number one receiver. Cedric Tillman's hurt, but it's not season ending, so that's good. And then you got your pick'em. You got Jamari Thrash. David Bell's still hurt. Then it's just going to be a battle. It's just going to be a battle from there. David Njoku, your favorite player, is not a receiver, Brandy. He's a tight end, so I don't count him. He's a tight end. Our receiver room needs work. Preseason is definitely going to tell us a lot about them too. So yes, it's going to be very interesting. With Jerry Jeudy being your number one, your main guy, is that good? You tell me. Is that what you want in your receiver room? Jerry Jeudy looked good with Jameis Winston. He looked very good with Jameis Winston. over 1,000 yards. The Denver game, he went absolutely nuts. So he has the capability to be a number one. But is that what you want? You just want him to be your shining light and then a bunch of average receivers? I don't think so. I think you need something else. They need to fix that problem, especially if you're going to have a rookie quarterback playing. They need more weapons. Hit like if you came in, please. Be greatly appreciated. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If we hit our donation goal, we have $40 more to go. We will stream tomorrow, and you get to listen to me yell some more about my opinions about everything in life. Be greatly appreciated. I mean, Joe Flacco's 5-game resume was cool. 1K yard, wild. Yeah, those picks were nuts. Any reason I want Jameis Winston over Joe Flacco is because Jameis Winston can run a little bit. He does have a little bit of mobility, and he's more entertaining. He is a walking soundbite. So that's the difference between the two. Winston has a little bit more mobility. I mean, it's a little bit, and he's more entertaining. That's the difference. They're the same quarterback. Why is Bell still on the roster? He's been hurt since he was drafted. That is facts. I hope they build a boardwalk once they demo the stadium in Cleveland. Need a run game to balance out throwing game and a consistent defense. Facts. And that's where they were headed, Django. They were headed at getting a run game. That's why they drafted Judkins and Sampson. They have Jerome Ford, 3 running backs. I think they were going back to the formula where they had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt with a running game. The running game helped out Baker Mayfield. If you remember Baker Mayfield, he was at his best when the running game was the number one. He had the play action game. Baker would play action. They were worried about Nick Chubb. They were worried about Kareem Hunt. That's how they need to do with whoever's the quarterback here. Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. Pick a quarterback. They have to have a running game. You cannot drop back 5 wide every play. That's not going to work. They need to establish the run, get some play action, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly when you're not play actioning to your running. I mean, when you're not using the play action game off your run. They have to establish what they had with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And I think that's what they were doing when they drafted Quinshon Judkins and Dion Sanders. In my humble opinion, it's just my humble opinion. Though. Does it mean that I'm right? No, of course not. At Money Man, you already know, especially with Cleveland content. I must have missed a conversation between Money Man and Selmo. What up, Money Man? No, Money Man. It ain't Money Man. It's Money Man. Money Man, what up? Browns had the 2 best running backs. Not now. We could say that Ford is not good, but he's one of the better receiving backs. Judkins just screwed the season in his career before he even started. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. You already know. I missed the last name. My bad. Money Main. You already know. First of all, I don't know. Money Main, I don't know if you've been here before. If you haven't, hold on. Hold on, Money Main. Money Main, you already know. If my mouse would work. Where's it at? Where did my sound effect go? Is it gone?
Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me.
There we go. There you go. The tribal chief, the OTC. And if you have, my bad. It's my bad if you have. You know, sometimes I don't recognize names when they come back in. My bad. But the tribal chief, the OTC, welcomes you to the stream. But yes, that's what I think is going to happen with our offense, in my humble opinion. And I do agree with that. Jerome Ford's a very good receiving back. But we'll have to wait for Judkins. We'll see what happens with Judkins. We'll have to wait to see what happens. I don't think it's over yet, Django. I'm crossing my fingers for him. Not just because he was Ohio State, just for the young man. You would hate for the young man to make a horrible mistake and it affect his career. And of course, don't condone anything with that. If that's what he did, then he needs to be punished, right? But if the story turns out that it wasn't anything like that, then it doesn't need to follow him for the rest of his career. So we have to wait and see what happens and go from there. After game 4, Browns and Steelers will tank for Arch. Arch is not coming out next year, Jeff. So you're going to have to tank next year too. Hunt has been garbage for years. Love the dude, but he's been washed for a long time. Did you see him in Kansas City last year? Did you not watch a Kansas City game? Cleveland CBI? Did you watch him in Kansas City? He didn't look washed to me. Corey at Moneyman, you already know. Got the block hot. You got to check him out. I like that. You heard the man. Glad to see you again for another season. Ryan, where have you been? You know what? There's people like Ryan that makes me have to call him out. He used to be in every stream I was in. He used to be like, what up, Corey, my dog? And now he shows up once every 16 streams. What up, Ryan? How you doing, man? He'll get a minimum 4-game suspension if they sign him. Steelers don't know how to tank. I love Hunt and Chubb. Music. Okay. But yes, that's going to be it for me. We didn't make our donation goal, so I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I don't know when I'll be back, but keep your notifications on. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications because sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I don't know when I'll be back, but when I come back, we're live as always. Now, I keep telling people this. We're the most interactive stream on YouTube. I try to read all the comments and I don't make you pay for me to read them. Okay. But laugh out loud, dude. It's been rough going back to 60 hours a week. It's no excuse, Ryan. None at all. But just playing. Glad to see you. But until next time, you know the drill. It's all love. Peace.